Hey, it's Mike here at Pro Steel Products. I just wanted to give another update, another video on how to install these swing out tailgates. I'm going to attempt this by myself. You should have another set of hands, but I'm going to be fast forwarding through the boring stuff. But basically, to get this set up, this is the OEM bumper. It has the taillight guards. That tire rack has nothing to do with it. This has a subwoofer and a subwoofer triple plate, but all installs of this tailgate will basically be the same. You're going to use these back two D-ring mounting locations and the back of the roll bar, these double bolts in the backs of the roll bars here. I already got this one prepped. I'm going to walk you around and show you exactly how I prepped it to get it ready. These bars to the bumper, to the roll cage. Now remember, you got to be in here. So this needs to be broken, not break it, but the connection has to be broken. So you can tell that this is loose and this one's loose. I also have the frame bolt or the cage bolts up top removed, and I'm going to take you up and show you that real quick. And if you can see that, these bolts, I took them all the way out. See how far off that is? Okay, that's gonna make your install go a lot better. You can get this together later. It'll be okay. But down here on the D-ring side, these little washers, I can't get it out of there, but that little washer needs to stay in there because that floats the plastic so you don't crimp the plastic and break it. Okay, when you take these bolts out, okay, here's the bolts. When you take these out, leave one tight, loosen this. You don't have to take it all the way out, but squirt the crap out of it with this and WD-40. Go in and out, in and out, in and out until you can finger tighten all these all the way down. Okay, once you get one that moves really easy, believe me, that'll make your install a lot easier. Tighten it up, then go to the other bolt. The other bolt will hold this in place while you work that bolt in and out. I recommend not using an impact. The reason being is if you back it out too far and you don't know it, and you hit the drive and you're cross-threaded, it'll ruin your day. You don't want to cross-thread those. And that's why you want them finger tight, because you can feel the threads. Now if they were tight, you don't know if you're in them or you're crossed or whatever. But these, see how that moves around now? This one here is sprung bad. I mean, when I undid it, and this thing only has less than 200 miles on it. But this is the prep that you want to do. Okay, leave that washer in there. These came with the bolt bag. There'll be 2 grease fittings in the bag with it. I already took that apart, but we'll get to the grease fittings later. But anyway, I'm going to hang this gate on the back here and show you. There goes the air compressor. Let me pause this and I'll get this the frame up here. Okay, so now your gate will come in 2 different pieces because the hinge has been removed, so it'll fit in the box and I'll be able to ship it more safely. These 1/2-inch spacers will go right on top of that washer. Okay, the other one right where the D-rings are. Now here's where you're going to put these, right here on this, and it's gonna ride there. It's gonna kind of set there. Make sure all your bolts are out, and you're going to set it down right on top, and you're going to start these bolts and give them enough to where it's not going to pull the threads out, but you have plenty of room to move it around. I like to give it about 3 or 4 turns. Just make sure that this thing is easily moved around. It'll stay there, okay, but it's easy to move around. See that? You got all kinds of movement. That'll help you with getting these bolts in up here. So When you got this sitting right there, it's not going to go anywhere. Now you have to, this is the tool I came up, it was a heavy duty screwdriver. I just cut the end off, made it blunt. When you do this, make sure you go down past the threads in that hole so you don't mar them threads up. When you go past them threads and you're able to move this around, these will flex, on the gate frame. They'll flex a little bit. You don't have to bend them, just flex them. But this has to line up with this and the frame. So you got three things to kind of guide into place. And this will help if you had a deep well with an extension that has the knurling on it. So you can kind of turn it, you know, get it down on the bolt and turn it. Remember I said they have to be finger, you know, easy in and out. With this, you're able to do it even if it's rubbing a little bit. Once you get it down in there and you can hold it and then tighten that bolt, the second one should go right in. If not, you didn't quite have it together right. So let me give this a shot. Let me pause this for a minute and get set up. Okay, I'm wearing my glasses for this because you have to look down through those holes to find out where them threads are. And just move these around and until you get them to where you could get them down in the hole and get it started. Remember that. And just wiggle it around, just work on it. Don't get in a rush. And oh my gosh, that went pretty quick. I got that one started already. Let me show you here. Okay, that one started. So now I should be able to keep the whatever way I was moving this, keep it there and tighten that down, and it should stay, and the second bolt should go right in. So let me give that a shot. Okay, I just went tight enough where it's not going to move on me. Okay, so it's pretty solid now. This side will still move just a little bit, but it's, let me bring you up there. I should be able to start that second bolt. If you can see that, that second bolt should start right in there. So let me give that a try and see if it's going to go in. Yep, it started right in there. So you just go ahead and run that down, and then you're halfway there on the bad stuff. I'm just going to snug that a little bit. Now, okay, those two bolts are in. Let me show you. Okay, I hope you can see that because I'm not watching the screen. But anyway, those are in. It's starting to get a little solid, but this one, you're gonna, it'll flex a little bit, so you're gonna be all right with it. But let me position the camera this side so you can maybe see what I'm doing there. It's kind of tough with me putting it on a tripod, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, I thought I hit the record button on this, but you can see it's still moving around a little bit, and I have the top bolt started, and it looks like the bottom bolt is going to go right in. So I'm going to try the bottom bolt, and this, the reason I got this so long is you can pretty much move this back and forth and move that bolt if you need to a little bit. But well, look at that. I thought this one was going to be a pain, but I got all four bolts started. They're all started in. Okay, let me run these down, and then these two bolts are the very last ones you're going to tighten up. So let me run these down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all four of those bolts are in. Let me see if I'm showing you right. Yeah, I just moved my screen, so all four of those are in. Okay, and now we're going to do these bolts right here are a 13 millimeter. and then the frame should be all done. So let me run them down real quick. Okay guys, this is the frame is now installed. This thing is just a part of the machine now. You can go ahead and tighten all these up now. The frame bolts, or the cage bolts on top, tighten everything down, and then you can come back and do the gate. But you can do the gate now or later, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to do it now because you guys know how to take the bolts out of the cage and everything, or loosen them. This one I had to take out because it was way off. But if you can get by with just loosening it and get enough room, by all means do it. And don't forget to tighten these bolts if you have these guards, because there's a hole right here with a bolt and these clamps. Make sure everything's all tight and you're good to go. Now let's get the gate. This is where I should have an extra hand. You're going to need a plastic hammer or rubber hammer, one of the two, to get these bearings in. Do not, I repeat, do not hit those bearings with a steel hammer. You don't want to damage those bearings. They're ball bearings in there. So let me get the hinge and the bearings, and I'll get over here and I'll turn the camera back on, and you can see what I'll bring you a close up so you can see what I'm doing over here. Okay, let's get set up. Okay guys, I just got the gate just sitting here. I wanted to show you something real quick, that if you're doing this by yourself, just latch that, don't crank it in and bind it down, just let it sit there and it will sit there. Okay, just be careful you don't knock it off and, you know, this off, or else the gate will fall and you might scratch it. But right here is where we're going to be working with the hinge. You can see the holes there for the grease fittings. Okay, here is the pins and the bearings. Okay, let me show you one of these bearings. They have a flat top. Hopefully that's focusing for you. And then you have the open side on that. Put that on the bottom. They say you can put them any other way, but I don't want all the dirt and everything going down in there. And I don't know if you can see in there, but there's little ball bearings. Okay, you can, I don't have my grease with me, but you can grease that up and get that grease all in that bearing before you get this far. The grease fittings will eventually get them in there, but you can grease that up before. It might even help with the install a little bit. But this is a 4-wing hinge. In the beginning we kept running them out of these because we were ordering so many, and we went to a 3-wing, but these, they kind of got it straightened around, and they're supplying us really well with these. They're keeping up, I should say. One other thing, this is a heavy pin. It's a little bit tapered on the end. Don't be discouraged if this frame, this one and this one, is a little bit off, because during the welding it might pull a little bit. Everybody that knows welding, it's going to pull, but you'll be able to get it in with that plastic hammer and everything will be fine. So don't worry about it being tight. Once you get it in, you won't have to take it out. So anyway, let's set this down somewhere, and you're going to take one of the bearings and you're going to lift up on the, and just put it right in between there. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Now it's with the opening down. Okay, you're just going to bring it up and you're going to set it right in there. Now you're going to take your pin and you're going to go down through this one and through the bearing. Maybe. This one's going to be tight. Alright, so I'm going to have to tap it a little bit with the plastic hammer. Yep. You want to make sure that's in line. Okay, you see how that kicked back? I'm down in here now. So the next bearing you want to put in there. So you're going to take your next bearing. Now if these are too tight to where you cannot get them in there, this one's going to go in tight. You can, I have a video out there with tips. take a flat edge of a file and go underneath here, okay, and just give that a little bit. You're just going to remove the powder, because that's what's making it, because these are built with all this together, okay, and then when we powder them, it takes some of that away, and you can see a little bit coming off. Okay, we shouldn't have to take too much off of this, and then you can do the same on this one to get that bottom bearing in. And you're just taking the powder off. Don't worry about it rusting, because it's going to be full grease. So, and grease will make it so it doesn't rust. So, what you're going to do is you're going to get this started. You're going to take your plastic hammer. Just give it a little bit until it goes in. And you're going to try and go in straight. It wants to go that way. Okay, it's too far this way, and I'm going to have to pry this out, so let me go get something to pry that with and not scratch the paint. Okay, this is what I come up with. Just put a piece of cardboard in there, and then you're going to pry over. See how that popped over? Now I see this is still not lined up, so it has to go that way. So let me give it a little pop. You want to get that as close as you can, because the taper on this pin is going to align it once you drive it down. So, okay, we're past that one. Now we got one more to do down here. So I'm going to put it up here. So now we're going to try and get this one in there. And that one feels like it's really tight, so I'm going to take a little bit off. Take this way. Now you don't, these are really flimsy, that's why I don't use a steel hammer on these. And if they're real tight, go ahead and take some of the powder off to gain a little bit of room. These hinges are built to be very tight. So we're gonna come back here and do this again. And we're gonna pound her in. Keeps wanting to go the other way. There we go. Oop, too far. There we go. Now that looks like it's going to make it, so let me try it. Okay, it's all the way in. That should do it. You can check your gate and unlatch it on this side, and then you can tell that the hinge is really tight and it works just fine. So let me go back. Okay, once that pin's in, you're good to go. If you ever need to take this gate out, you just drive it out. It just sits in there. It's not going to come out. So this latch, I'm going to set you here for a minute. Now I did not adjust these, so there's a jam nut. If you find yourself you have to adjust it, and that one seems like it's pretty good right where it's at. So this is what you're looking for, this rubber and that bumper to crush just a little bit, not smash out of Timbuktu, but you can see it's right there is where it makes contact. I'll try and move down here and I'll show you. You just pull it in and you can see how that crushed. Now it's not going to rattle, it's not going to go anywhere, it's always going to be right there. And I just dropped some screwdriver. But okay, let me back up and show you. That's the tailgate that we just installed. Didn't take that long. I probably talked more than I should have. But don't forget to tighten everything else back up. And if you want to get back in, you got your pack out here. You got 3 of them right there. Easy access. If you want to close it up, you just put that across there, pull it, and you're good to go. And this has a little I-ring right here to where you can put a small lock. So this, once this thing's in here, if you have something here taking up that space, you won't be able to get these 3 boxes out either. But I don't think there's anything that I missed. Biggest thing you take away is put those D-ring bolts in first and let the gate hang there. And it's a lot easier if you have two sets of hands. So one to watch, one to pry, one to start the bolt. I got this installed, I'm surprised, pretty easily. But yeah, there's a bunch of these out here, and I've only had a few calls to where, and they just did the procedure wrong. So these are flying out of here like crazy, so, and things are picking up. So if you have any questions, if you do have problems, you know I'm only a phone call away. So okay guys, thanks for watching. Hope these tips helped, and hey, we'll see you on the trail.